A long time ago, back in the early days of the medium, video games used to be awesome. Now they're mostly trash, a burning garbage heap of dull first-person shooters, uninteresting, cynical cash-grab clones of superior predecessors, and even more cynical quote-unquote freemium games that are laden with microtransactions the way a pig's trough is laden with pig slop. But every once in a great while, a diamond sneaks through the dung heap. Every once in a great while, a modern game is good. This is their story. Bow, bump, bump. Just pretend there was a Law and Order noise there.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Video Games for People Who Hate Video Games. I am the world-renowned historian. Video games used to be awesome, and now they're mostly terrible. Here's one that isn't. Love this title sequence. So old school, like early 90s PC game. The easiest mode is hard. A cleverly designed, dark, dystopic atmosphere, comically excessive blood, guts, and violence to the point of hilarity, a dark, wry, somewhat naughty sense of humor designed to make any 15-year-old kind of feel like they're breaking the rules. Satisfying, pulse-pounding action that punches you in the chest like you're right next to the bass drum, backed by a thumping metal soundtrack that hits you just as hard. I could be describing any number of wonderful action films from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, from RoboCop to The Running Man to the Evil Dead films to Aliens to Terminator to Demolition Man to Total Recall. I could be describing the 2012 version of Dread, which was one of the few recent films I can think of that hit that same level of quality and energy and tone. I could be talking about the video games from the Doom franchise, or Super Smash TV. But today, we're here talking about Butcher. Butcher is a 2D action platformer with the violence and humor of an early 90s first-person shooter and the aiming and movement system of a twin-stick shooter a la Smash TV. So what does all that mean if you're unfamiliar? Platformers are one of the more famous video game genres. In fact, the most famous video game of all time, Super Mario Bros., is a platformer. Contra is another important example. Super Meat Boy is an important modern example. Essentially, it's any game where you're moving between uneven terrain and making jumps and avoiding obstacles, and that's part of the background environment. It's all platforming, jumping between that terrain is a major part of the gameplay. That's a platformer. As for the humor and tone of early 90s games like Doom and Duke Nukem, maybe a couple of clips will suffice.
Don't have time to play with my...
Now, as far as twin-stick shooters, all that means is one stick moves you, and the other aims your weapon. Now, it's almost shocking how intuitive aiming becomes after just a few minutes of gameplay with Butcher. I mean, really, it's one of the better aiming mechanics I've ever used in a shooter. Smash TV is probably the most famous example of this genre, though it has seen a resurgence in recent years. Especially the aiming is much easier than it seems. You shoot a guy into the chain moves and it's got a little piece of his body out. Sure don't make them like they used to, kids. So the quote-unquote story of the game is that you're essentially a Terminator sent to execute the last remnants of the human race. Now, this is instructive because it's really all the story that a game needs to have. And this game is an infinitely more satisfying experience than any modern game with all its cutscenes and all its button prompts asking you to continue a video that you aren't really a part of and you are not really interacting with. So this game, with its simple story and its bloody mess violence, are infinitely more involving and engaging than any big-budget modern AAA game with 100 cutscenes. The game sets that tone from its very opening, establishing a grimy, dirty future of the like seen in Alien or Blade Runner. Do you want to start over? Level browser unlocks will remain unchanged. No, I want to continue? Yes, fuck this shit. We're going, yes, fuck this shit. So we've got I cry when I die mode, casual. We've got hard. We've got harder. And the hardest. And impossible, which you have to unlock, which I have not unlocked. Very much Doom 2 style, kind of dark humor, I guess. Like Doom 2 had like, there was like I'm Too Young to Die, and like I can't even remember them all now, but it's very similar to this. It's very Doom 2-ish difficulty setting. Not the last time this game will remind me of the great Doom 2. I love this opening. I can't say it enough. This game reminds me of like an MS-DOS game from like 1993. Come on like 3 floppy disks. From here, it's a hilariously violent trek through the space station as you waste what's left of humanity, fighting your way through different cleverly designed environments with your shotgun, assault rifle, flamethrower, and railgun. For those with a short attention span, the levels are all pretty short. It's get in, do your damage, get out. The action is amazing, and so fun. As I said before, it's a platformer in gameplay, the sorts of obstacles you must avoid, and the enemies you face. It's like Doom in tone and look and style and violence, and it's like Smash TV in controls. It's awesome. Oh, Lord. Oh, that was dumb. Wasted a lot of health there. Oh, no! They all fall. Oh, boy. Wasted a whole lot of health there. around the room for some reason. Doesn't make any sense. Why is that there? Ooh. Butcher is very much a throwback to a time when action movies were unabashedly violent and full of fun, explosions, death, and good humor. They understood that violence in the media does not equal violence in reality, and that being entertained by a depiction of violence is unequivocally not the same thing as perpetuating or wishing for actual violence. It's a fun, brutal, rough and tumble experience. You know, the likes of which you just don't really see that much in this day and age. This game doesn't give a shit about your feelings. It's more Led Zeppelin than it is the Bee Gees.
I mean, Led Zeppelin didn't write tunes that everyone liked. They left that to the Bee Gees.
Of course, none of that throwback nostalgia would be relevant if the game were not also good. And the game is excellent. It's satisfying to sit down to for hours, or if you got 30 minutes to kill. So anyways, friends, that is Butcher. There's nothing complex about it. It's just entertaining, exciting violence in an interesting throwback sci-fi setting, with the one creative wrinkle that in this one you play as the Terminator. It's basically the game Doom would have been had it been made 5 years earlier. Anyways, friends, that's it for now. Till next time, be sure you do all that good YouTube shit. Be sure to like, dislike, comment, subscribe, hit that pulse notification button, whatever the fuck that is. And till next time, I am the world-renowned historian. Be good, kiddos. I am out.